Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Another Set of Eyes with today's Excel Bytes blog post. Today we're going to take a look at three flavors of drop-down lists. Data validation, form control combo box, and Activex control combo box. I'm going to show you a little bit of the pros and cons of each, and hopefully this will give you an opportunity to decide which one might be best for your application. So here is our scenario. We have a list of countries of the world, and you can see if I click there and hit Shift Control down arrow and highlight the list, you can see that it's named countries. So I've named that list to make it a little easier in creating our formulas and creating our drop-down lists. So the first thing we want to do, or what we want to do is have these each be populated by the name of the country using the three variables drop-down list that we're going to do. So ultimately I want the names to be populated in these lists. The first thing we're going to do is data validation. So if you're familiar with that, you would just click on the cell where you want your drop-down list to be, go to the Data tab and go over to Data Validation and select that, and we're going to choose List, and the source of our list will be equal countries, and I'll say OK, and now you can see that I have my drop-down list and I can choose any one of those, and you can see when I click on that the cell populates with that name. So I can use that in formulas or in other areas of my function. The downside of using data validation is that, first of all, if I click anywhere else, notice the drop-down arrow disappears, so I don't know I have a list to choose from unless I click on the cell that has the drop-down list. I also have no control over the font size, how many I can choose from here, the font style, etc. I'm very limited there, but it's a nice quick way and easy way to select from a list. I also cannot type into here to get my name unless I know exactly the full typing or spelling of that country. So for example, if I wanted Algeria and I type ALG, I can't tab or have it complete for me, so I'm going to have to type ALGERIA. I can hit enter and it will accept that, but only if I type it exactly as the list allows. So that's data validation. That's one way you can go. The next way is inserting a form control combo box. And you get that off the Developer tab from the ribbon. Now, if you don't have a Developer tab on your ribbon, all you need to do is go to File, down to Options, and the Customize ribbon, and you'll see the Developer tab here. It's very possible it's not checked for you, so if you check it, it will now appear on your ribbon. So I'm going to click on, so actually what I want to do in order to have this fill with the country from a drop-down list, I need to actually locate my drop-down list elsewhere. So we're going to put it over here and have this be the cell that gets populated based on the selection here. So how I do that is I go to my Developer tab, I click the down arrow insert, see you have Form Control and Activex Control. I'm going to select the Form Control combo box, and if I hold down my Alt key while I'm dragging this, notice it covers complete column widths and row height, so it makes it a little easier to fill the right size that you want. Now once it's selected, I can right click and go to Format Control, and my input range would be equal countries, and my cell link I'm going to put here, and I'm going to make 3D shading. Now notice I can also choose how many I want to show in my drop-down list. So if I just say 4 and I'll say OK and I click off of that, it'll show me 4, and I can scroll through those, pick any one, but if I pick one, notice I don't get the name here, I get the row number of the where that name is located on the list. So unfortunately I have to take another step here, and so what I'm going to do is right click, go back to Format Control, and change my location. Instead of E6 I'm going to change it to F6, say OK, and now the row number appears in cell F. Now here I can put in equals index formula, My array will be countries, and the row number will be what that cell F6 that we indicated there. I don't need to put a column number because by default it would be 1. I hit enter, and now whatever I choose here will populate the cell, and since that is the formula, that can also be used in other formulas anywhere else in my workbook or worksheet. But here again, I have no control over the size of the font, the style of the font, and I also cannot type in here at all. Wherever I can't click on this cell and be able to type in here at all, so the only choice I have is to choose from the drop-down box to populate my cell. I can enlarge it. Obviously you see that you have a drop-down arrow, so that's a nice benefit over data validation where you have to click on that cell in order to get your drop-down arrow. But again, the negatives here are that you have to maybe use 2 steps in order to populate a cell with your choice. Last, we're going to look at the Activex Control Combo Box, and we're going to kind of do the same thing in that we're going to insert it in this area and have it populate our cell. So I'm going to click the Insert, and this time choose the Activex Combo Box. And again, I'm going to hold down my Alt key while I cover the area I want to have it do. And then while it's highlighted, I can go up to here and click on Properties. And a whole list of properties are available here in order for me to change things. One of them is right here with font, and I can change the font by clicking on that 3-dot button. I can change it to something else like Cambria. I can make it bold and maybe even go up to 18-point font and say OK. And my link cell in this case is going to be cell E9. Which will be right where I want to populate that. So I could just type in E9. And my list fill range will be countries. And now I can close that, and I can click off the design mode, and now you can see I have a nice drop-down list. I can scroll through, I can scroll through it and choose different ones. And whatever I select automatically populates in cell E9, which was my target cell. The other nice part about this, though, is I can type, say, ALG, and it'll fill in Algeria. Notice it, I only had to type in 3 letters, and it automatically, whatever name pops up here will automatically fill in to there. And then I just click off of that, and it'll be filled in. Again, if I want to type United States, I can type UNITED space S, and it gives me United States. I don't have to fill out the whole thing, and this cell will be populated. So the benefits of the Activex control, as with the format control, you know there's a drop-down box. You can control the size, but the benefit here, I don't have to have that extra step here to put in that index formula to populate it. I can also control my font size and also control colors, etc. if I wanted to go that route. Plus it gives me the benefit of knowing that there's a drop-down, not like you have with data validation. So there's the 3 options of going with a drop-down list: data validation, format control combo box, or Activex control combo box. All 3 of them have their pros and cons, and hopefully this is beneficial to you to help you choose the kind of one you want. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope it was helpful, and if you'd like to see more, please feel free to go to my website, excel-bytes.com, and I hope you subscribe. Happy excelling!